Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama and today I am bringing you Winning in 40 APM or Less. This is going to be my series that I'm kind of starting up here, and basically it's just to help people with their decision making as they go through certain processes, as certain situations or engagements do arise. So basically, what's the best thing to do right now with my units? What should I be focusing on, especially if I don't have all the APM? But even if you do have the APM, a lot of the times you do things in the wrong order and that can just kind of throw you off. So right now, as you can see, I'm just going to leave the APM counter up here, and one thing I do want to note, sometimes this is going to jump a little bit high, but you have to remember a lot of that has to do with just the producing of units. I'm not really counting the production of units into my APM. I'm counting it more as DPM, decisions per minute. And so if I sit there and say I'm going to build 20 lings, that's a decision, and then as soon as I start that, I mean, it's basically mindlessly spamming ling, 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 just over and over and over again at that point. So I don't really count that as like multiple actions because it's really, really quick. You can just power through that. And so as you can see, my opponent is doing a normal style of high spam. He is a Masters player. So I'm going to be using Masters players for all of these replays. So it's going to be me versus Masters players. And let me go busy really quick. And so it's just going to be just going to be quite simple there. So I do a 14-14 opening, as you can see. One thing to note is the pool placement right back here, and I've done this. I mean, this is 14-14 flawlessly with a 28 average APM, so you should have no reason to not be able to do a build order at this point. I've also got my overlords out scouting. This is all with 28 APM, right? So not much at all. So I do put this pool back here simply because if he does an early pool, his lings can't get a full surround on that unless they're separated, in which case it's easier for my drones to pick them off. So just kind of something to think about. I do that in ZVZ. I like to hide the pool kind of back there behind the minerals. So right now I have enough money for 2 pairs of lings, queen, and speed, right? So pretty much very basic. I'll probably make this into a drone here now, yes, as I do have those 4 lings. I've scouted, I've seen he has a gas and a pool as well as taken a hatch. So it looks like he did a 15-15-17. And so now I've got my lings. I'm just going to probably send them over there to the middle just for a little bit of scouting. And once again, just continuing to drone up. I'm at 21 at 200 minerals, so that means I'm going to send this drone out here to build the hatchery. And there we go. So there goes my natural hatch now going down. Queen has popped. You can hear her little, the scream that she does. So go over there and inject with her. And once again, we're maintaining a fairly low APM. Of course, we have a little bit of spike just because there's a little bit of movement plus the production of stuff. But overall, I'm trying to maintain as low of an APM as possible. And like I said, of course it's going to spike a little bit. I don't think that anybody could literally stay below 40 APM, especially playing against a Masters player. But even doing basic harass, and I think I picked off a drone, I'm still maintaining fairly low APM right there. So I'm just using this to scout around. I see he's got a lot of lings. Even more lings are building, so right now I know, hey, you know what, something's probably going on. I'm just going to send these dudes back home, and yeah, there was a little spike in the APM right there, and that's because, hey, I built all of these lings, right? So as soon as you do that, your current APM is going to spike up a little bit. And that's fine. And even if my average gets over 40, I'm really going to be okay with that. So now that I've got this queen up, I know I'm going to need another queen. I have a baneling nest going down because I saw all of those lings, so that was my reaction immediately to that. And I'll probably inject and get a, I already have another queen out. Oops. Alright, so I have both my queens. I transferred that first one down there. And now I'm just going to kind of build up some lings right here. As you can see, I am ahead in the harvester count. So I feel pretty fine just kind of chilling over there. And now I'm going to get my banelings because I see he has these lings. And it's such a key sign. If somebody brings out an overlord or a queen like this to pick off the overlord, or at least send it away like that, that usually means they're going to start pushing out with the lings fairly shortly. And that's not always 100%, but it's definitely something to note. And of course, here come the lings. piling out, and that's a ton of lings, but hey, we have banelings right now, so we feel pretty safe. So definitely a big thing is getting that baneling nest down, and even if you want to get it down even earlier, you can throw it down as soon as you have that additional 50 gas just to be safe. So I'm going to let my Banes kind of do a little damage right there, get in, and they unfortunately blew up in strange positions, but I'm still going to be okay, right? So I'm still going to be fine right here, and right now all my APM is just going towards building units. That's pretty much all I am doing. As you can see if you watch my screen, I'm just sitting here, right? I'm just sitting here, and I just mass built all these eggs. That's all I did for that APM right there. So that was pretty much minimal micro. We'll go ahead and just follow me around so we can see exactly how I am moving now and kind of what I'm looking at. I'm going to move that overlord forward so I can get a better idea if he's going to be sending more lings or not. And I believe I start droning a tiny bit right here, and then I see more lings pumping out. But you know what? I'm still safe. Even with all of those lings pumping out, I'm still safe with what I have because I have those banelings. I don't see any banelings of his yet, and now I see a few more lings. So now I'm going to go back to ling production. But as you can see, I've droned up, so is he a little bit, but I've maintained that drone lead, which is very important. So now I move down, I see no lings. Alright, I can move back. And this is just basic. I have my banelings. Look at the hotkey. 6 banelings are on 2, and my lings are on 1. So that was a mistake right there. You don't want to lose your banelings for free just like that, giving them up on 1 ling. And so I'm still just kind of making sure, okay, right here. Here's where I move away so he can't get an explosion. So free 5 lings right there, and still, you know, this is minimal APM. Gonna send a dude out here just to check for banelings. I don't see any. Still feeling okay. I should send an overlord out over that spot. I haven't done that yet. So once again, he tries to come in here for a little explosion on some banelings, and doesn't get it. Once again, we go out. We don't see any banes, so I'm feeling decent. Still don't see a third out from him or anything like that. So I think I'm in a good position. And I also have the drone lead as well, as we can see right here, 30 to 24. So I felt fine droning up right there because I noticed he did not have any banes or anything really to do damage, and there were not a lot of units coming. This is the important part of having those overlords out. So now here comes some banelings. So I'm going to send my banelings out right there, and right there, able to get 6. Going to lose a few right there, able to get a nice hit. And I mean, it's very, very basic. Micro right there, and I still, you know, that wasn't optimal because I'm trying to maintain a low APM, but as you can see, a lot of that also, remember, that's just building APM that's going on. So I was able to clean that up fairly well right there, and I should have a bunch of lings popping out fairly shortly. Have to rebuild that queen because I lost it, and oh, free banelings, go get them, right? So if they ever try and build banelings without ling support, you can just run down there and kill those off immediately. And also remember, you want to make sure you have banelings back home. A lot of times players will lose because they'll simply get excited, start sending all these lings out, and then they won't have any banelings back home to defend. That's just going to be problematic for them. So right here we see I'm going to charge up with some lings and banes. I'm going to run down there, and I think I actually lose a lot of these, unfortunately. Yeah, right here. That hurt, right? So that wasn't the best. I thought those would be take a little bit more time. But regardless, we're still fine right here. We're just injecting. We're just making banelings. I'm scouting. Okay, I see more lings on the way, so I know I should probably continue to ling and bane up. And yeah, so basically, you know, right now, once again, we're still just kind of chilling. We're in a good position. We've had that drone count lead for a while here. And now I'm going to get a roach warren. And this is where I get this because I say, you know what, alright, I want to end the ling bling right here. And what's the best way to do that? Just get some roaches. Because if you get just a few roaches out with your lings and banes, you can just focus fire down those banelings and it'll be really easy. So I accidentally send those out. I lose a few lings right there, but I'm still in an okay position. I'm still doing just fine. I have a lot of money saved up, so that's not the best. I should be taking a second gas. Because I do have the roaches and banelings coming out, so I think I do get that later. But right now I'm just kind of trying to focus on not a lot of crazy stuff going on. Just run away from the banelings, and I lose a couple drones right there. That hurts. You know, 2 drones went down unnecessarily. And once again, I don't have banelings, so what I need to do, morph banelings, right? That's definitely going to be one of the keys, is making sure I always have banelings at home. Because if I have banelings, he cannot just run up with all of his lings. If I do not have banelings, he can charge in with his lings and his banes, and all of a sudden I'm in a very tough position. So once again, I have those hotkeyed, as you can see. I'm going to send a couple of those down just to pick off 2, so we can just go 2 for 2 trade, and once again another 2 for 2 trade right there. So quite easy, and I still have banelings, or a baneling at least, which is enough to hold them off for a little bit longer. And now I can start transitioning into those roaches, and once again, as you can see, I'm floating a little bit of money, a little bit more than I want to right there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a macro hatch here fairly soon. I believe I drop it actually like right now, just about. And you can see also he is taking his third behind this, but I still don't feel like I'm in a terrible position, even with him taking his third right there, because I do have these roaches coming out on the field. I do have that harvester lead. And now I'm just going to kind of send some lings over here, and there's my roach. So now I'm just going to kill off all these banes. Nothing's going to happen right there. And yeah, so it's just going to be pretty basic. Now I take that macro hatch. So that's a little bit late. I could have grabbed that earlier. And then I'm going to have an extractor right there, and we can still see he has a decent sized ling bane force, so he has a lot invested in that, which means not a ton in his drones. But I'm going to have these roaches now out here, which will be so easy for me to just start picking off all of these banelings, as you can see right there. So he's going to have trouble. He's going to just basically go for an all-in push right there with everything that he has, but I have enough roaches and lings out here that I'm going to be able to clean this up and can basically just take it the other way at this point in the game. I should have my macro hatch. There we go. I get that hotkeyed up, and so now I'm just going to start blowing through my minerals and my gas here and just making roaches and lings, and I can just counter and basically pressure this third because I know I have the advantage, and I know if he doesn't really have a roach warren, he might just be getting a roach warren down now, or just starting some roaches at this point, but he's not going to have enough to really deal with it. So I can basically just send everything I have over towards his base, since I was able to defend that ling bling little all-in right there that I did for a while. Make sure I got my injects. As you can see, it wasn't perfect injects across the board. It wasn't perfect play by all means. I was trying to keep my APM as low as I possibly could and just kind of do some basic stuff. And so now we're going to get over here and just go for an attack. And the only thing to really worry about at this point is not getting completely destroyed by all of these banelings with my lings. So I'm just spending a little bit of time focusing on that. I didn't even micro my roaches whatsoever. And it's basically just an A move at this point. Make sure you're injecting all of your hatcheries. Go inject that additional one right there. And now I can just kind of move over here, kill off his third. I take a third of my own, because now, you know what, I can start transitioning into getting my third if I want. Get a lair because I have the additional gas. And at this point, the game's pretty much over. He's going to go for a little ling run by right there, as you saw. So I'm just going to start morphing banelings back up here at my main, so that when those lings get there, there will be banelings to deal with it. And so he's just going to GG out, because that's going to be it. So my name is MrLlama. I hope you guys learned a little bit from this video, hopefully how to hold the 2 hatch all in, and I will see you guys next time.